Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of REKKR Sunken Land on the REKKR difficulty, played through GZDoom. We are doing all levels with a bow start, and this is E4M6, Yggdrasil. Let's begin. Alright, at last, we're back into REKKR. We're going to start by grabbing all these souls to use against these grotesque inhumans. Yes, we might get hit a little bit, but that's fine. We only need 1% health anyway, so this 74 health is just filling. Just the topping, the icing, if you will. But anyways, we are still going to avoid getting hit either way. So we can grab a weapon like the Staff of Rune Explosion, which we're going to use against this former Duke, who is just standing out here. 3 runes ought to do him in. And we can use runes against these guys as well. Not too many, though. Because we gotta save some of these runes up for future encounters. We're gonna use the bow against these fellows as well. Pick up some souls, some health essence as well. And now we can ascend the lift. So let's do just that. We get the soul launcher and some soul prisms. But we can fire some runes at these fellows. 3 or 4 usually do them in. And usually, depending on your distance, you can probably get these guys to actually get hit by the runes, because it usually aims for their center mass. So depending on your position and theirs, you'll likely be able to hit them consistently. But anyways, let's take some medicinal herbs. Very nice to provide them here. And let's get rid of the skeleturret. It's been harassing us for the past few minutes or so. Anyways, into here we go. There'll be an imp waiting for you, so you can just destroy him like so. There'll be an inhuman and a mimic. And here's some woad, which you can use against these guys. And if that isn't enough, you can grab this axe, which you can use to chop up some enemies, but you can probably stick with the woad. Anyways, we're gonna go down into here. We're gonna get the Staff of Rune Explosion ready. We're gonna kill this fellow. 3 or 4 runes. And his twin. There we go. And now look at all these former humans. They are here to inflate the kill count. Like, look at them. They're all over the place. Yes, there was another woad there. Which is in case you got hit. There's also, bottled health over there as well, which is real. Now you can use a soul launcher, or you can do the strat I'm usually doing, which is getting one of these guys to slap, or attempt to slap, since they can't slap and move at the same time. They're kind of like pinkies or golems. You can kind of use that to corral them. They're a little thinner than the golems and pinkies, so they might not be as stuck compared to them, but it still can kind of help sometimes. And usually they like to stick together as well, in general, which is also a good thing for you, of course. Now that pretty much all these guys are dead, maybe there are a few stragglers, you'll note that you've killed more than half the enemies of the level. Marvelous. So with that all said and done, we can go over here and look at this fancy ship. I assume this is the Yggdrasil. So let's just sign ourselves in. And I think I'll climb aboard. Alright, let's kill this fellow. Surprisingly, he's not dead. Maybe the splash damage was being wonky, but whatever. He's dead now. This guy is dead. And now we can take some strips over here, getting rid of the mean imp. And let's go down here for funsies. But particularly to get rid of these guys. Especially those freaking eyes. Here's another woad in case you need it. But whenever you want to go down here, you can check this part out. And you can clean this mess up. Wonderful. So we can press this switch, wake up the Jinn. You want to watch out for them though, because in such a close space it can be kind of dangerous with those projectiles constantly spewing fire that can really damage you. But when you're done with them, you can spin that valve and go into here. There'll be some husks awaiting you, but you can get rid of them rather efficiently because they're the easy husks. But now we've killed everything in this room, let's go into the fire. Yeah, you won't get burned, you'll just get a sack of steel shot, which is a nice secret to have. We don't have the steel shot launcher unless you're doing a continuous playthrough, but it's still nice to have, I'd say. Anyways, if you look here, one of these is green. That's because we spin the valve downstairs. There's another thing that's red. We'll have to spin that as well. So we're going to go into this room, and then into this one, and then down here. Now let's clean this room out. Deal with the sorrow. Make sure he doesn't see tomorrow. And this health essence I'll borrow. And I think we're done with this section. So let's go up here again. And look at the door. I'll grab this first. But yes, looking at this door, it's now open because both of these are green. So let's spin this valve. And look, the ship is moving. We're sailing. But there's an ambush here. I probably shouldn't use the rune launcher for these guys. I mean, it does hurt if you hit them directly, but not against the rune throwers, but whatever. In this room, we'll find a Sorrow, who we will also make sure doesn't see tomorrow. And we can open this area up. Now, in case you want to backtrack and check for any other things, you can do that right now, but aside from that, I'd say we're done with this section. So let's leave the ship, which is now docked over here, and flip this. But before we do anything else, we're going to flip this as well, and go right into here, which will send us back to this part of the map. Because over here, this section opened up, which is a secret. And this leads back to the start, which is very nice. And this also leads to another secret, which, if you're careful, you can get it like so. Excellent. So now that you've finished that section, we can go into here. Back into this part once again. And we can also check this part out, which has a rune thrower. And a bunch of these guys, also still here to inflate the kill count. But if that isn't enough, there's a Skelly Belly. Just to try to resurrect these jerks. There's asbestos booties down here, so you can grab the mana sprites without much of a hassle. But when you're done with that, you can go into this area and clean out these guys. And now we can press this eye, wake up these guys, and let's key them. Let's get them. Let's mess them up. Yeah. Now let's go over here and get the blessing of the gods. You can get that early if you know how to finagle around the trees and stuff, but you can get it now and it won't make much of a difference. Unless you really don't want to kill those imps in the sorrow, I guess. Whatever. Anyways, in here will be some more enemies. There'll be some that'll try to ambush you from behind. Pretty easy to deal with, as long as you can avoid their projectiles, of course. Over here are some more enemies, because of course there are. With a bit of firepower, we can get rid of them rather quickly. Excellent. So let's go into this part. Kill all these fellows. And you know what? Let's blow some of these guys up. Yeah, yeah. Get blowed up. We're gunning all these guys down. And I'm gonna kill this guy. Preferably, well, I guess I'll have to use the rune launcher. Yeah, direct hits still work on them. But we get the steel shot launcher from this area, so this is also very nice to have. I'm not gonna use the blessing of the gods yet, because there are bigger fish to fry, and I'll show you what I mean in the future. This is a real health bottle, so you can pick that up if you want. I don't need it right now since I have the Shaman's Brew. These guys we can get rid of with the steel shot launcher, which we have plenty of ammo now, thanks to the secret and among other things. But when all is said and done, you want to follow the armor patches into this area. Let's get rid of this guy. And grab... Well, actually, we won't need that. You know what, let's give this guy a shot. Yeah, there we go. Might as well make use of this mana seal. Why not? Oh yeah, there's still an enemy alive. Oh no, yeah, I remember. Imps all appear here. There are a lot of them too. Not a lot, but enough to get a good chain reaction if they're all gathered in one spot. If you kill one, you might have the opportunity to kill them all. But there tends to be a straggler here and there. Probably a mean one, but whatever. We can now go into this section, which is pretty spooky, but at the same time, kind of cool. Look at the glass. Pretty sure those are like sprites. Or carefully done sectors. I think it's the latter. Or a bit of both. But anyways, here's why we say the blessing of the gods. This guy. And I grabbed that a bit prematurely. Very prematurely, in fact. Yeah, remember this guy from E4M6? He's back. And he's actually a freaking deadly enemy. Especially in such a confined space, but with the blessing of the gods and the power of health and whatnot, you should be able to get rid of them rather efficiently. So that's all the enemies, all the kills, all the secrets. We can now head into this area and finish the level. And with that, we are done with Yggdrasil. And this level was pretty fun, I'd say. Yes, I would say that. Because it was. To me, at least. I hope you enjoyed it as well, if you played it. But the final encounter with that boss enemy is quite a doozy, because it's such a closed space. Any wrong movement can potentially screw you up. The candles indicate where you are blocked by, because I think there are visible walls there, or the candles are pretty much the quote-unquote walls. But aside from that, the rest of the encounters are pretty smooth for the most part. Some of them can bamboozle you, like the one with the djinn and the rune thrower in the ship right after you go towards the yellow door. The ship itself is an interesting section. I like how you use the valves to get the door open and then use the final valve to move the ship, which is a carefully done illusion with the wall textures moving, I think. It's pretty adorable either way. But anyways, we are done with this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we're going to E4M6. But until then, toodaloo.